One of the best skills you can actually learn in 2023 to improve your value as a person is camera confidence. Hi, my name is Eddie and you are on our diary pages, the platform where we talk about self-improvement, leveling up, stories that we never want to speak out loudly, and anything in between. So as a person, I was never this confident with a camera. Naturally, I am an introvert. I don't like going to parties. I don't like giving speeches. So my first time with the camera was probably like your first time. You feel like you're talking to this innate lifeless thing and therefore you cannot be yourself. But today, I want us to understand that camera confidence is actually one of those skills that you can build in 2023 that will boost, first of all, your confidence as a person, and then it will also increase your value as a person, because camera confidence, first of all, wraps into almost every other aspect of your life. Because talking about school presentations, job interviews, work meetings, business negotiations, and from where we are going, even dating. So today I'm going to share with you 5 pro tips on how you can become more confident in camera, because this is one skill you'll need in your life to thrive. You know, the pandemic pushed us almost 3 years ahead, especially in Africa. The pandemic got us doing things that we shouldn't be doing now. Actually, if time was to move normally, then things like Zoom meetings, I think, in Africa we would have, of course they were there, but I'm saying in Africa, we would have embraced them maybe 3 years to come, maybe in 2026, 2025. But with the pandemic, I think it pushed us almost 5 years into the future and got us doing things like, online meetings, job interviews. And right now, if you are to be called for a job, the likelihood that you will not be called for a physical face-to-face interview is very high. You'll be asked to join a Zoom meeting where you'll find the employer and the panelists, and they'll ask you questions, and you will be expected to present yourself on Zoom. And again, if you want to become something like a content creator, a YouTuber on TikTok, Instagram, then your camera confidence is of ultimate importance. Now, here are 5 tips that will help you improve your camera confidence and up your game. Number 1 is to warm up. So get anything that, improves or increases your energy levels. Personally, I usually listen to one of my favorite playlists and I can sing along, or sometimes I just jump around. I can take a jumping rope, and I jump around. And most of the time, I would go to YouTube and listen to one of my favorite YouTube personalities, how they present. It's not like I want to present like them, but just to emulate the kind of confidence they have on camera, just to emulate the kind of energy they bring through the camera. Tip number 2 is to introduce a smile. When you're speaking through a smile, you come out as confident, you come out as authentic, and whoever is watching you from the other side will tend to relate more to what you're trying to say, unlike if you spoke like this. Your voice can be audible, you can be clear, you can have variations in tone, but with such a face like the one I have now, your content might really not come out as you intended to. But it depends on what you're talking about. I'm almost laughing. It depends on what you're talking about, because if you're talking about something that is sad, then I don't expect you to talk like this. You cannot say that. For example, if you're talking about a shootout in school, then you cannot say, today a pupil brought a gun to school and shot a robber. You see, it doesn't go well. So it also depends on what you're talking about. But most of the time, if you're a YouTube presenter, then most of the topics you'll want to talk about are things that people can relate with, are things that, for example, in our channel, we want to talk about leveling up, self-improvement, and these beautiful stories. So most of the time, I'll be talking to you through a smile. And then the next tip is body language. You can imagine if you're watching a presenter through YouTube, or on YouTube, one of your favorite presenters, and as they speak, they're doing things like, they're scratching their chin, you're scratching your chin, they're constantly playing with their hair, they're constantly adjusting and looking at their frames, and they're even if you have a cold and you keep on coughing and your hand is always on your mouth, or your hands are clasped, or you're fidgeting on your desk, you come out as less confident, like you don't know what you're talking about, you don't understand the subject enough. Because that is when you fidget a lot on camera, you tend to indicate to the other person, the person watching you, that you're really not confident about what you're trying to say. The last tip number 5, is there are 2 modes. When you're presenting to a camera or on camera, then there are 2 modes that you will most likely be on. And I call them, the first one is buddy mode. Buddy mode is how you talk to somebody face to face. Maybe you've gone for a coffee meeting or you're out on a date. The way I would be talking to you if you're seated here with me, like how I'm speaking now. And I don't want to shout, because naturally when you're seated with someone and you're just talking, you don't go like, so today I want to give you 5 tips on, no, that is not what you do. You change your intonation. You perhaps, if you're a man, you're using a deeper voice because you want to appear like you are welcoming, you're calm, you're friendly. So you want to speak in that tone and in that voice and in an intonation that is inviting to the person who is sitting across you while you're having your date. The second mode is now the presenter mode. The presenter mode is you are assuming you're presenting to this group of people in a hall or in a classroom. So different from buddy mode. In a classroom, again, you cannot talk to people like you're on a date. You'll have to, improve your energy levels. You have to pump up your energy levels. Your intonation will have to vary much more, and your voice must be a little bit higher. So like what I'm saying now is one extra tip to being confident in camera is knowing when to switch the modes. So you see how I'm doing that. Now, you should know that the title of your video or the content of your video will dictate what mode you use. So if you're talking about something that is so dear to your heart, sad, maybe romantic, then most of the time you'll be on the buddy mode. But if you are doing a tutorial, an educational video, or an information-like kind of video, then your energy levels have to be high, and therefore you'll be most likely on the presenter mode. One extra tip to leveling up your confidence on camera is to continuously pick up your camera on a daily basis, or once in a while, but frequently. Then just record yourself talking about a random thing, maybe ice cream or a book or something. Then just record yourself, listen to yourself, and then later on you can delete. If you do it time after time, repeatedly, then that way you can be sure that maybe in a month or 2, your confidence on the camera will improve a lot. Now, I'll wrap this up by saying one big mistake that most people do, I included, I did it when I was first starting, is comparing ourselves to these big presenters. You go on YouTube, you watch your favorite presenter, and you wonder, can I be able to talk like this person? Can I really be able to present on camera like this person? Then, your self-confidence lowers, your energy levels go down, and you feel like, no, I'm not good enough, I cannot do this, and therefore you give up. And if you are in the process of starting a YouTube channel, it dies. If you're in the process maybe of starting a podcast or a video podcast, it dies. So from today, stop comparing yourself with somebody who is on level 10 while you're just starting on level 0. So get to the point of practicing, making errors, and improving. And before you know it, you'll be where you want to be. So I hope you've learned something in today's video. And if so, please hit the like button, and also don't forget to subscribe so that you can enjoy more content like this in the coming days. And I'll be seeing you in our next session of our diary pages.